Hello everybody, welcome back to Paint with Nate, and I'm here still painting Rosalee for my Bros and Badgers mouse warband. Since last time you may notice that I'm going to be moving on to clothes, and what I've done is I've used a little splodge of paint, just kind of marking off what I'm going to paint, what color, because, well, as you can see, especially when it's in focus, there are a lot of colors going on this model. A lot of layers, sorry. So I just wanted to mark out what layer I was going to do, what color, make sure it matched front and back so that it didn't end in disaster later. So I'm going to start with the blue color I use. And for that, because I want it to be quite a natural blue, I'm going to use shadow gray, which is quite bluey gray, as you can see. It's identical to the shadow gray that you used to get from GW, but this one's made by Coat Arms. So first thing I want to do is just go around. I'm gonna start at the bottom, work my way around, and I'm gonna just do all of the base coating. I'm gonna go back with some washes and then some highlights. So it's just a brief one where I do the awkward one at the bottom first. Awkward mainly because there's a base in the way, but there's nothing we can do about that. Right, so as you can see, I'm just going around. Nothing fancy at this point. I'm using a small brush, mainly so I don't have to come back and paint over it later. But just going around. As you can see, the this paint actually goes over the fur brown base coat really nicely, and all nice and smooth, and just gives a surprisingly warm tone, I think, for such a cool color, which is good because it keeps the model looking nice and vibrant when it's finished. Well, the rest of the warband does. I'm really happy with how the rest of the warbands come out, so I'm quite excited to add Rosalee to my my roster. And yeah, so well, I'm just gonna finish this off, and we'll come back when it's all dry, and we'll do some shading. But as you can see, that's coming on nicely. But you don't need to watch me just continue to base coat. So I'll see. Right, so here we are back. It's all painted up and it's all dry. So next up, we're gonna add a wash because we've got lots of nice creases in this. So a wash is gonna do nicely. So because it's the grey, I'm gonna go for a known oil wash. Now this might look be a little extreme, but I will be highlighting back up. So this time I'm gonna start from the top and work my way down for no reason other than just variety. Right, so models like this with lots of creases and clothes are absolutely lovely for a wash because they've got plenty of places for for the ink to go. It sits nice. It doesn't go patchy. It just sits in the recess where I want. Make sure when you do this to keep the mouse in shot. Sorry about that. But also to make sure you don't put over ink the model, because that's a sure way to get pooling, which is something you don't need to be correcting later. So if you just put on what you need. If you see any pooling, just dab it away with a brush. That and let the ink do its work, its magic. So what I'm doing there is I'm actually brushing it into the recesses, because they're quite distinct recesses. Just making sure it's sitting where I want it to. And yeah, that's that really. So this is Rosalee's dress almost done. And there's too much ink there. So I'm just going to wipe that up. I'm going to redistribute it, because there's no point wasting it. And just put it on that bottom bit. Right. So, like I said, we got a little bit too much there, so I'm just going to dab that away. And then there we go. Now just I'll wait for that to dry, and we'll come back and we'll do some highlights. Right, so that's our ink wash dry. Next up, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back over with the shadow gray, just to clean it up and start my highlight layers. So for this, I'm going in and I'm going in the creases, but I'm not going all the way to the edges. I'm starting it out in the middle, working my way outwards nearly to the edges, but not quite. So I want to start that gradient, that shading gradient. So with this sort of model, it's a nice easy job really, because you've got these nice well-defined kind of folds and creases in the cloth. These nice definitive lines which just paint up really enjoyably. It's probably why this sort of model with the creases is my favorite kind of model to paint, because I do enjoy painting cloths. So just going around, starting off my highlight layer, doing the edges, doing the edge there, and all the way around. Then working my way back in. Then down there. So we're gonna be up here. Sorry if you can hear that in the background, but my kids are playing with their friends online, because obviously the lockdown and whatnot, and they can only communicate at excessive volume. I have asked them to keep it down. The mother's asked them to keep it down, and that is them keeping it down. So I'm just staying out the way, and then I'm painting. Just chilling out, doing a bit of painting. I'm starting to sound like Bob Ross, just without the talent or the charisma. So just going around. So these little pleats might be a little bit more of a challenge, but so just only because they're little. Need a little brush, right? So just going around, got the ruffles on her sleeve. So do a line at the back here. Start that off. So there we go. Just got a front of her blouse to do here. Right. So that's our first coat done, and as you can see, it's already started to add a bit of nice shaping. So next up, we're gonna get a palette out, which desperately needs cleaning. Yes, I know. I'm gonna put a little bit of that on, a little bit of white. So mix in some white there. And then when you're doing greys and whatnot, they can be quite unforgiving on the blend. So I would recommend adding a little bit of kind of medium to it, just to thin it a bit, because we want those transitions to be as smooth as possible, especially on a nice dress like this. So I'm just gonna go back in, and you know the drill by now. Just make sure you're not painting as much as you did on previous layer, making sure that some of the previous layer is showing through. And yeah, so a nice edge there. Bring that out, and then next one is there. Right, this is that side done. So over to here, bring that in. And then just again highlighting these, accentuating these curves and increases in the fabric. There, almost there for that. Yeah, it makes the whole model just pop that little bit more. Shows off all that nice sculpted detail, and gives you that sense of movement. Since she is a battle dancer, we want, she's probably not going to be a sort that's going to be staying still too often. So to finish off here. And then next up we'll do one more layer, I think. yeah, I think one more layer will do us nice on that. So now scoop of white in, mix it in. Right. So for this, just a nice crisp, not much more than a line. There, look at that. There it is. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, it looks lovely. If I do say so myself, which I do, because there's no one else here to say it for me. And, you know, I do love these guys. It sounds cliche, but these Bros and Badgers models are a joy to paint. I painted 2 the other week in one day. Just because just often you know how it is when you've got time. You haven't got time, you might get 10 minutes in here and there, half an hour here and there. I sat there every 20 minutes, kind of coming back, doing a little bit more, then came back, and I was managed to get them all done in not even a whole day. It was they were painted by about 3 o'clock. Started about 8 o'clock in the morning. It's because then they're lovely models to do. You know, each bit you do, you can kind of see the progress you've made, and for me, that's often kind of the great motivator, is that feeling of progress. So yes, there's my children. Sorry about that. Not like for having children, but for my children being noisy while I'm trying to paint. It's also, you know, kind of, as I said, why I'm hiding up here. So almost there. Just finish up these little frills. So almost there. Next up, we'll be moving on. We'll be doing the cream, but I think I'll leave that for next time, because this video is already gonna be quite long, and you can only put up with me for so long. So there we go. Let's get a bit more light in there. Right, so there we are. There's a base dress done. Next up, we'll be putting on some cream. So thank you all for joining me today. Thank you for watching. I hope you like what you see. If you do, leave a comment down below. If you don't, leave a comment down below. Make sure to like and subscribe to the video, because it helps more people see, and they can criticize me and my inability to keep a model in shot for an entire video. So yep, that's it from me. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week for some more mice painting. Bye bye.